has issued a statement. And in the statement by Shapoorji Pallonji Mistry on the current developments related to the Tata Trusts and Tata Sons, they have reiterated a call for transparency and governance through public listing of Tata Sons. We have the full statement, and I'm going to read out the full statement, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very, very significant development. SP Group or Shapoorji Pallonji Group has said that in the light of the recent developments pertaining to the internal matters of Tata Sons, it is both timely and necessary to reiterate our long-standing position, one that has always been rooted in transparency, fairness, public interest, and adherence to the principles of good corporate governance. The Shapoorji Pallonji Group has consistently advocated the public listing of Tata Sons. We firmly believe that listing this premier institution will not only uphold the spirit of transparency envisioned by its founding father, Shri Jamsetji Tata, but also strengthen the trust among all stakeholders, employees, investors, and the people of India. Our stance is guided by a simple yet profound belief: transparency is the truest form of respect for both legacy and the future. As one of India's oldest business houses, we have full faith in the Reserve Bank of India, a constitutional and autonomous body, to take decisions grounded in the principles of equity, justice, and public interest. The RBI scale-based regulatory framework clearly articulates that a non-banking finance company or NBFC should not act in a manner detrimental to the interests of its investors. And in this context, we trust that the 30th September 2025 compliance timeline under the upper layer classification will be viewed by the seriousness and sanctity that regulatory commitments deserve. We are confident that the RBI will act as it always has in accordance with the rule of law and the spirit of fairness. The public listing of Tata Sons is not merely a financial step, it's a moral and social imperative. It will unlock immense value for over 1.2 crore stakeholders of listed Tata companies who are indirect shareholders of Tata Sons, representing the aspirations of all Indians. The very citizens who have for decades held faith in the Tata name as a symbol of integrity and national pride. I'm going across to my colleague Pranav, joining us live from Republic Business. Pranav, this is significant. What do you make of the statement? Can you break this down, what this means now, Pranav?
Well, Niranjan, this basically means that Shapoorji Pallonji Group, which actually holds 18% in Tata Sons, is actually asking for listing of the company. If you remember, this was one of the first demands that the group has been pressing for over years. In fact, from about 48 shares to 18%, the stake of Shapoorji Pallonji in Tata Sons has increased, and they've been asking for liquidating some of their investments in the group to settle some of their internal matters or debts, so to say, is what has been reported. So we are now seeing Shapoorji Pallonji Group pressing for going public. This was one of the points of contentions when the matter initially started in September. Yeah.
Now, what is the stand of the different stakeholders and different leaders on this subject of public listing?
Well, the board was actually divided over it because not everybody within the trustees, the group of trustees, were keen on ensuring the listing of Tata Sons. But Shapoorji Pallonji has pressed for it, and we need to see how the rest of the members react to this, because this is probably the first time that one of the involved entities has come out with an open statement. So far, whatever was happening was all happening inside the boardroom, but this is probably the first time that an entity involved in the matter has come out with a public statement on it.
Yeah. Now, any details whether this was discussed in the meeting? Perhaps because the fact that it's come out after that marathon meeting ended, the 6-hour, 45-minute meeting, right?
Yes, it was one of the points that was discussed. The listing of Tata Sons was in fact one of the matters that was discussed in the meeting. The other issues that were discussed were about the usage of 1,700 crore of dividend income that it has received through Tata Group. But yes, this was one of the matters discussed cordially, as we are told.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question, because there is also a question of debt that the Shapoorji Pallonji Group has right now. That is a key factor on why perhaps they are also wanting to go in for a public listing. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, I mean, unconfirmed report or open source information had it that the group had close to about 8,000 crore in debt, and the group or the controlling members of the group were, so to say, interested in, liquidating the investments in Tata Sons to pay off that debt. And that is reportedly where the disagreements in fact started, because Mehli Mistry, one of the trustees of Tata Trusts, is believed to be close to the Shapoorji Pallonji Group. And the initial disagreements that started were about liquidating to pay off the so-called or whatever reported debts that the group has.
Okay. Now, the interesting use of words here, because they are also making a point, and I'm reading from here, the third last paragraph, Pranav. Shapoorji Pallonji in its statement says, our position is not in conflict. Our position is not in conflict, but completely in consonance with the ideals of Sri Jamsetji Tata, whose vision was that of an enterprise serving the nation with openness, accountability and compassion. Now, they also go on to talk about here that we reaffirm that our relationship with the House of Tata spans generations, was built on mutual respect, shared heritage. We remain fully committed to playing a constructive role alongside Tata Trusts and Tata Sons in shaping a future that upholds the legacy of both our founding families. The Shapoorji Pallonji Group remain steadfast in the commitment to these principles for the stability of our institutions, protection of shareholders, larger good of Bharat, and it appears that for now they are not going to pull back on their demand or their stand, to put it, on public listing.
Well, absolutely. I think there's a lot of reading between the lines that can be done here, because even while the involved entities have been, through sources or not so directly denying that there has been, any kind of feud or disagreement, so to say, there is a lot of reading between the lines that can be done from here. And what the group here right now, the Shapoorji Pallonji Group, is batting for here is not exactly the financial part of it. I mean, besides the fact that they're saying that it's not a financial step, it's a moral and social imperative. So they're taking a different stand, which may be read as an indirect reference or indirect comment to the likely disagreements that may have existed within the board that have been surfacing over the past few days.
Yeah, we've been covering business for over a decade now, right, Pranav? Have you seen this kind of a statement come out before of Shapoorji Pallonji being this vocal on the issue of public listing?
Never really, Niranjan. In fact, the last time Tata Group Tata Group has always been in the news for the positive side of the stories. But then the last time it was in news was when the whole feud broke out that involved Cyrus Mistry. But even at that time, there was a lot of secrecy that surrounded. So this is unarguably the first time that one of the entities involved in the feud has actually come out and put out a statement, making a lot of things. Probably leaving a lot of things to read between the lines.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'll leave it at that for now. Pranav, thank you for that news break, breaking the story first. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, very, very proud to say that Republic TV has been getting you every breaking update.